What is a movie ending that makes you cry, no matter how many times you've watched it before? Sixth Sense. Grandma says you asked her a question when she died. She says the answer is, every day. What did you ask her, Mama? I asked, did I make you proud? Homeward Bound. The last few pages are for you, Sam. The very end of Philadelphia. With the home movies. Gets me every time. Edward Scissorhands. I am a 57-year-old man. Saving Private Ryan. Every time I see this movie I cry. Edit. Thank you everyone for the awards and upvotes. I never knew how many people also cried or teared up while watching this movie. I also want to say that if you know someone who served in World War II, go up and thank them or hug them. Just do something to acknowledge what they went through, especially with Veterans Day just a few days away. Dunno why, but every time I watch the ending to Forrest Gump I burst into tears. Everyone sounds like they have been emotionally abused by Pixar. Steel Magnolias. When they are all in the cemetery and Sally Field totally breaks down. She says something like, I'm so mad I want to hit something, and they say, hit Weezer, and it's this moment where you laugh but tears are streaming down your face. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the gold kind Redditor. We all need some laughter through tears sometimes. Now everyone go and watch it. Happy Sunday. Edit 2. Weezer is the correct spelling. Thanks for the correction, fellow Redditor. The musician scenes from Titanic. Went to check the melody they played when the ship was sinking. I thought, this is ridiculous, why movies have to be so dramatic. Then the scene continued and there I was, crying as if I'd never before watched that movie. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind every single time. Hachi. A Dog's Tale. I bawl from about halfway until the end. This is weird one because it isn't a sad movie, but for me it's Mulan, after she presents her father with the sword of Shan Yu and the crest of the emperor. Her dad ignores them and says, the greatest gift of all is having you for a daughter. Don't know how many hours in my life I have spent wishing to hear that my dad is proud of me, so to see a dad say something like that to his daughter is just, out the feels. Big Fish. Don't want to spoil it too much, but when everyone from the Dad's Tales show up at the end gets me every time. Life is Beautiful. Toy Story 3. Maybe not the ending but just the movie in general makes me cry. About Time. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Oh, God, of course, Old Yeller. Schindler's List. When Oscar laments about not being able to save one more person. Watership Down. Return of the King. My friends, you bow to no one. Second-Hand Lions. Every time it gets me. My first awards, thank you. Logan. When she turns that crossover to make an X, my heart breaks. Every time. What Dreams May Come. Akuru WDMC is a film about a man, Robin Williams, who dies and goes to heaven. His wife dies some time later and is sent to hell. He decides to find her. Akuru is about a civil servant, Takashi Shimura, coming to terms with his own impending death, then accounts of his life at the funeral. That final shot of Monsters Inc. will always make me tear up. When Sully pokes his head in and we hear Boo say, Kitty, that's just such a great ending. Again, not the end of a movie, but Brooks Was Here, from The Shawshank Redemption springs to mind as a recent watch. I was watching with my partner and she started bawling. I had to laugh to cover my own tears at how sad it is. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Dead Poets Society. Ending of The Green Mile is pretty upsetting when John Coffey dies. Edit. Thanks for all the awards and all of your comments, guys. This comment really blew up. The Land Before Time. When I first saw it as a kid, it was the first time that I realized that my parents could die. That thought had never even really occurred to me at that point. Even now as an adult, the scene, https://u2.be/8rdraftj4 closing parenthesis. Where he thinks he sees her but it's just his shadow and the narrator says, asterisk, then Littlefoot knew for certain he was alone, asterisk. Still gets to me every single time. I'm sure that movie will make me cry even more after my mom passes because one of her nicknames for me is Littlefoot. Grave of the Fireflies. The Grand Budapest Hotel. The revelation that their shared happiness was short-lived, the reminder that happy endings don't always last, and that the old world the hotel represented had already long vanished in the darkness of war. The way the plot's nesting doll framing device pulls back out to the present, a young woman reading about it in a snowy graveyard. Just guts me every time. Interstellar. When Murph answers, because my dad promised me. City of Angels with Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage. It isn't the greatest movie but it still makes me cry. Coco. My grandfather had dementia and couldn't remember me the last time he saw me but showed me the house of my grandparents where I basically grew up in like I was a visitor. I miss him so much. My oh papa. The Iron Giant. You stay, I go. No following, god damn. Kubo and the Two Strings. The whole climax of that movie is emotionally devastating, but the final scene with the villagers and then the lanterns on the water transitioning into the Regina Spektor version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, that movie is so god damn good. Coco. Every single time. Don Bluth's animated Thumbelina. When the prince cuts through the thorn patch and sings, and I'll never let you fall. Loudly crying. Inside Out. The scene when Riley comes home at the end always gets me. The Pursuit of Happiness. As a single dad since 18 with custody of my son, life never appeared to be so real on screen till I saw that movie. Especially the scene at the motel. Fuck or the cops taking him a day before eviction. Story of my life. Gonna cry it out TTYL. Lol. Fucking Bridge to Terabithia. My mother told me it was a Narnia ripoff. It's not. She fell asleep and my brothers left. I was alone watching Narnia ripoff, and straight out of fucking nowhere I get hit with the fact that it's actually a movie about two children's descent into psychosis and denial of their real problems. Then the girl dies, the kid blames himself, and asks his father if she's going to burn in hell. Edit. A link to the misleading trailer. Trailer link. https://youtube.be/t2tdseg57 high closing parenthesis. Not exactly the end but fried green tomatoes when Ruth dies. Bicentennial Man. Big Fish. He can't see without his glasses, and I sob. Ada. The name of the movie is My Girl, 1991. Marley and Me. That dog makes me cry every time. Mr. Holland's Opus. The way his former students all come back to pay tribute to him and perform the song he'd spent his entire career composing. It always hits me in the feels. Not the very end, but when all of the folks at Minas Tirith bow down to the hobbits in Lot R, Rot K. Every time. Big Hero 6 is, strangely enough, the only movie that's ever made me cry. Not a movie but David Tennant's death scene as the Doctor. Edit. Thank you all for the rewards. Now if you'll excuse me, I must return to my onions. T. Train to Busan. Here Lies Dobby, a free elf. Warrior. That song makes the moment a real tearjerker. Moulin Rouge. Edit. Thank you for the awards. Also, if anyone is in the UK, take a look at Secret Cinema. They did a Moulin Rouge event. If you look at YouTube you should find the official videos. My husband and I loved it so much we went twice. All dogs go to heaven. I think I might even cry more the older I get. Forrest Gump. He's so smart. All of us are sobbing. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. A couple spots. You look like Mary Poppins. Was he cool? Hell yeah, he was cool. And, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Destroys me every time. Not the end, but every time I watch Steel Magnolias, I lose it at the scene in the cemetery. I don't cry when Julia Roberts dies. I cry when Sally Fields loses it over Julia Roberts dying. It's a Wonderful Life. I've watched Homeward Bound countless times, but damn that last 5 to 10 minutes, man. Pan's Labyrinth. I ugly cry every time. Dances with Wolves. When they shoot the wolf who's just following the prisoner convoy. God gets me every time. Babe, that damn pig every time. Arrival, but it's the beginning, which is also technically the ending. Not a movie, but the end of Tales of Ba Sing Se, from Atla gets me every time. Edit. Sorry guys, I misremembered. Momo's story is the end of that episode, but I was referring to Iroh's. Wally, the way it zooms out with the a whole life long, every damn time. I know someone who has watched The Color Purple dozens of times and still cries every time. Edit. For those of you asking, it's my aunt. I only watched once, but apparently I need to watch it again. This kinda exploded, thank you. When the sisters get back together at the end of A League of Their Own, something about it just always gets me in the feels. Rutger Hauer, Blade Runner. Glory. The last time I watched it I had to make a promise to myself to never watch it again for my emotional well-being. Stepmom with Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts. Gets me every time. Apollo 13. Every darn time. Fuck you Ron Howard and Tom Hanks. October Sky. Real good difficult relationship with dad stuff. Gets me every time. The Last of the Mohicans. The final scene, https://u2.be/q8xisdhg6vo closing parenthesis. The whole race up the mountain. With this, https://u2.be/k1rajvu6k closing parenthesis tune in the background gets me every time. I Am Sam. It's a heartwarming movie about a 40-year-old guy with mental disabilities and has the mental capacity of a 7-year-old. He has a kid with a lady, who leaves him, making him raise a little girl on his own. Child Protective Services takes the daughter away, and Sam, the 40-year-old guy, with the help of a lawyer, try to get back custody of his child. It is so freaking beautiful. It gets me every time. Stand By Me always reminds me of my friend group in high school and how we slowly drifted apart. Meet the Robinsons. That end song Little Wonders by Rob Thomas brings me to tears. A Knight's Tale is actually one of the few that really hits me. When he tells his father that he found his stars, and then when the prince, or prince-to-be, knights him, God, those two moments really get me right in the heart. Coco. When Miguel sings, Remember Me, to Mama Coco. Fox and the Hound. Thanks for watching. See you later.